Welcome back to the Nintendo Wiretap. My name is Amiibo Jason, and on today's episode, we have new information about Super Nintendo World, the amazing Nintendo theme park coming to Universal Studios in Japan later next year and sometime later in the US. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Now, I've been following the news about Super Nintendo World with a lot of interest. I'm really excited for this place. I'm a big fan of theme parks, I love roller coasters, and of course, I love Nintendo, so what's not to love about Super Nintendo World? It takes all of that amazing Nintendo goodness and it puts it all in one place, in one just awesome looking theme park. So, over the past year, we've been at least given some looks at what Super Nintendo World is going to look like. In fact, not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, we got our first look at a scale model of the park. Half of the park featuring a Mario-themed section, and the other half of the park featuring a Donkey Kong Country-themed section, which just makes me super excited. It just looks amazing. But today we get some official confirmation about what to expect from Super Nintendo World. And this information comes directly from Universal Parks CEO Tom Williams. So once again, this is not a rumor, this is coming straight from the CEO of Universal's mouth. So here's what he had to say. So a quick disclaimer, I'm not going to read this thing completely out loud to you, I'm going to paraphrase it. If you want to read it, I have it up on the screen for you, because reading this out loud doesn't make a lot of sense. But essentially what he's saying is that there's going to be a lot of things in this park, from food to merchandise, and the big thing that we get to know is that 2 rides are confirmed for the launch, one being Super Mario Kart and one being Yoshi's Adventure. In fact, we get our first look at Yoshi's Adventure in the concept art that was first released for this park, which I think is going to be a pretty cool addition. Now, the next big thing he says about the park is that every guest that comes in gets a magnetic wristband with a Mario logo on it, and this wristband allows you to interact with certain things in the park, completely on an interactive basis. It doesn't go into a lot of detail about exactly what to expect, but obviously this is a video game themed park, and he does mention that you get to keep score on various things that you do in the park, and when you're done, you can actually pretty much see what score you have. Compare it with friends, maybe there's going to be an online leaderboard. Really, the idea is pretty neat. He also mentions that if you come back to the park, you can build up on your score, so how exactly that's going to look is yet to be seen, but it's cool that they're doing some sort of interactive thing within this park. And that leaves us with the biggest revelation out of all of this, and it looks like there's going to be some sort of integration with a Nintendo Switch in this park. Again, what that looks like is yet to be seen, but this is what he says. He says if you choose to do so within the rides, it actually interfaces back with your game consoles. So maybe going to the park will unlock certain DLC for games like Mario Kart, maybe you can somehow upload your scores directly to an app within the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, my mind is kind of blown thinking of what kind of degree of interactivity this could have with people that bring Nintendo Switches into the park. But on the other hand, it kind of concerns me that we're going to have a bunch of people with Nintendo Switches at Universal Studios, flying off of roller coasters. It could be chaos, but who knows, maybe it's going to work out just fine. But there you go, that's everything we know so far about Super Nintendo World. The only thing I'd love to know is when it's coming to the US. We do know that it's opening sometime in spring of 2020 in Japan, and sometime after in the US. I'm really hoping maybe we'll get some sort of holiday release of next year, but if I had to guess, it's probably going to be closer to 2021. Stay tuned for more details, we'll let you know as soon as we know. And that's going to wrap up tonight's Nintendo Wiretap. I'll see you soon with yet another episode, but as always until then, stay wired in. Bye guys.